It was dark, not just dark, but black. There was no moon, and everything seemed to be sinister and evil. The woods, which had been home to our fun and games not 3 hours earlier, were now a nightmare maze of boogeymen to be, and other horrors that we could have sworn were hiding behind the next tree, or slowly creeping up behind us. The only thing that kept us from screaming like cowards was the light. The light was our anchor. It represented a safe and secure haven from the macabre monstrosities that were surely following us. This benevolent light that lay just beyond the woods guided us, and assured us that everything was going to be all right, and that our mothers would be waiting for us at home with dinner. Who were we to doubt this light, for the monsters lived in the dark, right? After what seemed like hours of fearfully trudging through the woods in the snow, we finally reached the edge of the woods. We could see now that the light was a solitary streetlight, and that it was bright, warm, and inviting. We broke into a run as soon as we crossed the threshold between the forest and the field across from the light. I ran for my life, fleeing the forest and its terrors, but so did my friend, and he was faster. My friend reached the warmth of the light first. As he entered its rays, he stopped and looked up with wonder. As I neared the light, I started to slow, for the light didn't look as inviting, it just looked wrong. I came to a complete stop when I realized that my friend was murmuring something, and that the light was growing brighter. The light was growing brighter, and my friend was talking louder. He wasn't talking in any language. He sounded like an infant that had just found a new toy. I looked around for help, for an adult that would know what to do, and that is when I realized that there were no other streetlights or houses or any sign of life, with the exception of this one solitary streetlight, and this bit of deserted street. The light was still growing brighter, frightfully bright. Something looked wrong about my friend. He seemed smaller, more fragile, and his hair looked brittle and lifeless. Something started blowing away in the breeze, giving it color and shape. He stood completely rigid, transfixed by the light, and whatever it was in the wind, it was coming from him. All the while he was making those odd baby noises, though now they sounded harsh and dry. The light was now too bright to look at. It looked evil, and I could not fathom what about it held my friend captive. I thought of crying out to him, but some instinct told me not to, that it was better to stay hidden from this anomaly. I scanned the light post and the surrounding area for a wire or transformer, something that could turn this fiendish light off. There was none to be found. My friend was shriveled now, his clothes were smoking, and hung about his frame as if it were some sort of skeleton like the one sitting in science class. I wondered how my friend was still standing. Everything downwind of him had turned a sickly pink, and bits of matter were blowing away in a constant stream. His voice sounded as if he had been gargling nails. His clothes caught fire, and with one terrifying scream of agony, he collapsed in on himself. The light once again looked safe and inviting, and showed no trace of the horror it had just been. I was so shaken and so desperate for comfort that I almost walked into it then. But as I took my first step, my eyes fell upon the form that had once been my friend, who was now blowing in the wind like ashes or snow. I ran as fast as I could in the direction from which we came. My previous fears had deserted me, now that I had seen true horror. I welcomed the darkness as a place to hide and be safe. After several more hours of wandering, I was picked up and taken home by a member of the search party that had been looking for me. My parents were hysterical and not in the least comforted by the fact that I screamed when I saw a light bulb in the house or on my street. When asked about my friend, I told everyone that he had run off and not returned. Even now, I refuse to have an artificial light in my home. So remember this: don't be afraid of the dark, for there are worse things in the light.